大家好，我叫毕老师，毕佩明，我就是你们的中文老师。So, which is hello everyone, my name is Miss Buchter, Penelope Buchter, and I am your Chinese teacher. And I realize I may not be what you picture when you think of a Chinese teacher, but I started learning Chinese in high school. So I've spent over 13 years speaking Chinese, learning Chinese, and 8 of those years, the last 8 years, I spent living in China, using Chinese daily to get around. So I have quite a solid background in it. And I just want to introduce the course a little bit because it's a new offering for AIM Academy. So first of all, I'll introduce the textbook. We'll be using Integrated Chinese, 4th edition, and I chose this textbook because having used a wide variety of textbooks over the years to learn Chinese myself, I've always found Integrated Chinese to be the easiest one I've ever used. The easiest one to sort of relate to. It brings in some context and cultural elements. It also has characters, it's fully in color, it's a little bit more engaging than some of the other textbooks that I've seen for Chinese. Also, I will also be trying to bring in some cultural elements, obviously having lived in China for quite a long time. I've also been around China quite a bit, and so hopefully I'll be able to bring in some of those historical and cultural elements because China has a really fascinating history, really fascinating culture, and I think learning about that really brings context into language learning. Having been a language learner myself, it's always a lot more engaging. It's a lot easier to engage with a language when you have kind of a motivation, when you understand where the language is coming from, you understand a little bit more about it. And in terms of the setup for the classes, hopefully we'll be using our hour each week, mostly to be answering questions and to be practicing our speaking and our conversational skills. Conversation is one of the most difficult things to practice when learning a second language because obviously you need another person there who's also able to engage in a conversation with you. It's not something you can practice as well on your own. And it also can be definitely the most intimidating part of learning a new language. So hopefully we'll be doing activities throughout the week to be learning the language, learning the culture, and then be able to come together and practice what we've learned and practice using that actual language. There's a few benefits to learning Chinese that you may not have thought about. Obviously, Chinese is a very widely spoken language. It has the most native speakers of any language in the world, and it has the most speakers overall as well. China is a huge place, and so there's a lot of people who speak Chinese. If you're able to speak Chinese, you're able to communicate with a lot of people in the world. That being said, it means that Chinese is a very good language for a huge variety of jobs and industries, and it does look quite impressive when you're applying for jobs in a wide variety of industries. It's also actually quite good for dyslexic students. Not that you'd have to be dyslexic to take the course, but if you are, dyslexia is mainly linked to alphabets, and Chinese does not have an alphabet, which does make it sometimes a bit difficult to learn. So it comes with its own challenges. But as a pictographic language, if you are dyslexic, you won't be dyslexic in Chinese, basically. You use a different part of your brain when you are looking at pictographs versus looking at an alphabet. So there are a lot of different benefits to learning Chinese. It is, of course, considered a very difficult language, but that's why I'm here. As someone who's learned it myself, I'll be able to guide you through that, and hopefully you will be interested in checking out our Chinese class. Thanks.